Do you believe a 94-year-old man can walk to his mailbox every morning, climb a few porch steps, and even dance a little at his granddaughter's wedding? All without a cane? Well, meet Walter. He's not a former athlete. He's not from some fancy clinic. He's just a regular man from Iowa who made one simple decision over 30 years ago to take better care of his legs before they started failing him. At 61, Walter began to notice the small changes. His knees ached after mowing the lawn, his calves cramped at night, and he started feeling a strange numbness in his toes. That's when he went to his doctor and heard something he never forgot. You don't have to lose your legs to old age. But if you ignore them now, they won't carry you later. That sentence stuck with him. He began a quiet, consistent routine, one that didn't involve intense workouts or expensive treatments. Just 5 key vitamins taken every day without fail. Now, at 94, while many around him rely on walkers or wheelchairs, Walter still walks with strength and steadiness. And the best part? These vitamins are available at your local pharmacy. They're affordable, and for many people, they make all the difference. If you're over 60 or you care about someone who is, this might be the most important video you'll watch today. Watch until the end. You might recognize yourself or someone you love in these stories. And before we begin, tell me in the comments, can you still walk without support? Just type yes or not yet. I'd love to hear where you're starting from. I used to dread mornings, Eleanor said quietly, sipping her tea in the sunlit corner of her porch. My knees were so stiff after breakfast, I needed both hands on the chair just to stand up. At 81, Eleanor had resigned herself to what she thought was just old age. Every step felt like dragging bricks. The pain in her joints made her avoid walking outside, and even the simplest chores, watering her flowers, making her bed, felt like a burden. But 5 years ago, something changed. It started with a visit to her doctor after she nearly fell trying to get out of bed. Blood tests revealed something unexpected. Eleanor was severely deficient in vitamin D. Most people think it's just about sunshine, she laughed. But I hadn't been outside much. I was always inside watching TV or reading. I figured it was safer that way. Her doctor explained that vitamin D is essential for calcium absorption, which strengthens bones. But more than that, it helps reduce inflammation, eases joint pain, and supports muscle function. Without enough of it, even small movements can feel painful. He prescribed a simple daily supplement, 800 IU of vitamin D. Nothing fancy, just a small bottle from the pharmacy shelf. I wasn't expecting a miracle, Eleanor said, but I started taking it every morning, just like my tea. In just 3 months, she noticed something subtle, but life-changing. She could stand up without pushing off the chair. She didn't wince every time she climbed the porch step. Her knees didn't scream at her anymore. But it wasn't just the pills. I made a promise to myself, she smiled. Every morning, even if it's chilly, I'd step outside for 15 minutes. Walk a little, let the sunlight touch my face. That became her ritual. A short walk in the garden, slow steps past the rose bushes, a little breathing, a little sunshine, and a quiet moment for herself. It wasn't long before neighbors started noticing. Eleanor, you're walking better, they'd say, and she'd just nod, not wanting to brag. But deep down, she knew something as simple as vitamin D had given her legs back. I feel like I've had a second chance at moving freely, she said. I might be 81, but I don't feel stuck anymore. If you're someone who struggles with stiff joints, knee pain, or fatigue when walking, maybe it's not just age. Maybe, like Eleanor, you're missing something simple, something fixable. Vitamin D isn't just for your bones. It's for your freedom. And the good news? It's easy to start. Ask your doctor for a test. Begin with a walk in the early sunlight. Add a supplement to your breakfast. Let nature and nutrition work together. Because sometimes the path to walking freely again starts with one small step and a little sunlight. Before we move on, I'd love to hear from you. Do you spend at least 10 minutes a day in the sun? Just type yes or not yet in the comments. You never know who you'll inspire by sharing your journey. George had always considered himself a careful man. He didn't drive too fast, never missed his doctor appointments, and made sure to hold onto the handrail whenever he climbed the stairs. So when he tripped on the edge of a rug in his own living room at age 82, he was more embarrassed than worried. It wasn't even a big fall, he recalled. Just a stumble. I didn't even hit the ground that hard. But the pain in his leg told a different story. At the hospital, the x-ray showed a fracture in his femur, one of the largest, strongest bones in the body. It shocked everyone, including George. I thought, how can something so small do so much damage? The real surprise came after further testing. His bone density was dangerously low. His doctor looked at him gently and asked, "Have you ever taken calcium supplements?" George shook his head. "Never thought I needed it. I drank milk as a kid. Figured that was enough." What he didn't realize was that as we age, our bones naturally lose density. And without enough calcium and vitamin D to help absorb it, they become fragile like dry branches ready to snap. That small fall turned into months of recovery. George spent 8 weeks in a rehab facility, struggling just to get out of bed. "I promised myself I'd never go through that again," he said. Lying there, unable to move, was the loneliest I've ever felt. Once he returned home, he made changes. Big ones. His doctor recommended 500 milligrams of calcium citrate daily. It was gentle on the stomach and easy to find at the pharmacy. George also started drinking milk again, not just once a week, but every day. And his grocery list changed. Kale, broccoli, spinach, yogurt. He even started enjoying sardines, something he hadn't eaten since his Navy days. He also made his house safer, removed the rugs, added grab bars in the bathroom, and started doing balance exercises in the mornings. Now, at 87, George hasn't had a single fall in 5 years. "I still walk a little slow," he laughed, "but I walk strong, and I know my bones can take it." For him, calcium wasn't just a supplement. It was a second chance, a way to stay out of the hospital and out in the world. He tells his friends, "You wait too long to care about your bones, and you might end up learning the hard way like I did." If you're over 70 and haven't thought about your bone health, now is the time. Calcium is easy to add, and even small changes can make a big difference. Strong bones mean more than just fewer fractures. They mean independence. They mean confidence when you walk. They mean freedom. So, here's a simple question to think about. Have you had any dairy or leafy greens today? Let us know in the comments. Just type yes or not yet. It's a small step, but sharing helps others remember to take care of themselves too. Margaret had always loved her morning walks, just a few blocks around her neighborhood in the quiet hours before the world got busy. But around age 75, something started to feel off. She kept tripping. Not big, dramatic falls, just odd stumbles, her toes catching on the sidewalk or the edge of the rug. "At first, I thought it was just old age," she said. "But then I started feeling this strange numbness in my toes, almost like they weren't there." The feeling got worse. She began avoiding her daily walks, afraid of falling. "It was like my feet forgot how to talk to my brain," she said. "I couldn't feel the floor under me." Concerned, she went to her doctor. They checked for diabetes, thinking maybe it was nerve damage from high blood sugar. But Margaret's blood sugar was fine. Then came the real answer, a severe vitamin B12 deficiency. Her doctor explained that B12 plays a crucial role in keeping nerves healthy. Without enough of it, the protective covering around her nerves, called the myelin sheath, starts to wear away. That's why her feet felt numb, why she stumbled, why walking, something so simple, had suddenly become a daily challenge. "I had no idea," she said. "No one had ever talked to me about B12 before." It turns out B12 deficiency is common in older adults. As we age, our bodies absorb less of it from food. And if you're vegetarian or take medication for acid reflux or stomach issues, your risk is even higher. Margaret began taking a daily B12 lozenge, just a tiny tablet that dissolved under her tongue. Within weeks, she noticed small changes. After 3 months, she could feel the texture of the floor again beneath her socks. By 6 months, she smiled. It was like someone plugged the electricity back into my feet. She resumed her walks, slowly at first, then confidently. She even joined a senior walking group at the local park. "I'm not trying to run marathons," she laughed. "I just want to walk without fear." Margaret now tells everyone her age to check their B12 levels, especially if they felt tingling, numbness, or balance issues. I thought I was just getting clumsy, she said, but it was something I could fix. B12 isn't just about energy, it's about connection. Between your nerves and your brain. Between your body and the ground you stand on. So if you've ever felt your toes go numb, or had that odd moment where your foot didn't quite land where you expected, it might be time to check your B12. And remember, you don't have to wait for a test result to start asking questions. Small steps lead to strong strides. Have you ever noticed tingling or numbness in your feet? Type yes or not yet in the comments. Your experience might help someone else recognize the signs too. For over a year, Robert dreaded going to bed. At 79, he thought his worst nights were behind him. But every single night, like clockwork, he would wake up, sometimes twice, sometimes 3 times, gripping his calf in pain. I'd be asleep, and then suddenly, bam, he said. A cramp so sharp it felt like my leg was being twisted from the inside out. He tried everything, massaging his legs before bed, drinking more water, cutting back on salt, but nothing worked. There were nights I didn't sleep at all, he said quietly. And when you're pushing 80, missing sleep hurts more than it used to. Then one morning, after a particularly bad night, his daughter, who's a nurse, asked if he'd ever checked his magnesium levels. I didn't even know what magnesium did, he admitted. I thought it was just something in fancy bottled water. It turns out, magnesium is essential for muscle and nerve function. Without enough of it, muscles can seize up, nerves can misfire, and sleep becomes a battle. Older adults are especially at risk, especially those like Robert, who take diuretics for high blood pressure. These medications can cause the body to flush out magnesium more quickly than it can absorb. With his doctor's approval, Robert started taking a 250 milligrams magnesium supplement after dinner each evening. Nothing changed the first few nights. Then, during the 3rd week, something strange happened. I woke up and realized I hadn't woken up, he said. It was morning, no cramps, no pain, just sleep. He paused when telling the story, voice cracking slightly. I cried, honestly. I'd forgotten what it felt like to rest. That one peaceful night turned into a week, then a month. His leg cramps became a memory, not a nightly torment. I got my nights back, he smiled, and that gave me my days back, too. Robert still takes magnesium every evening, and he encourages his friends at the senior center to do the same. Not blindly, but to talk to their doctor, learn what their body needs, and take action before problems grow bigger. Because sometimes, something as simple as a mineral can change everything. If you've ever had a muscle cramp that jolted you awake, or if your sleep is broken by pain you don't understand, magnesium might be part of the answer. Your body could be whispering a need you haven't heard yet. Have you ever lost sleep because of leg cramps? Comment yes or no below. Your reply might open someone else's eyes. Linda, now 85 years old, has always been independent. She lives in her cozy home at the edge of town and takes great pride in the fact that she still climbs the stairs to her bedroom without any help. But a few years ago, she noticed something that concerned her. Every time she tried to go up the stairs, she felt a strange heaviness in her knees. The more she tried to ignore it, the worse it got. It was like my legs were carrying lead weights, she recalls. I felt so slow and stiff. Her doctor told her that she had vascular calcification. Calcium had started to accumulate in her blood vessels instead of her bones. Over time, this condition could put pressure on her heart and arteries, leading to serious complications. Linda was devastated. She thought her active life might be coming to an end. But her doctor recommended a new combination of vitamins to help her body manage calcium more effectively. Vitamin K2, along with her daily vitamin D supplement. She had never heard of K2 before, but she trusted her doctor and decided to give it a try. Within a few months, Linda began to feel something incredible happening. Her legs felt lighter, and the stiffness in her knees started to disappear. I could walk around the house without that feeling of my knees locking up, she said with a smile. And the best part was I could climb stairs again without feeling like I was dragging a weight. What was happening was simple but powerful. Vitamin K2 helps direct calcium to where it should go, into your bones, rather than allowing it to build up in your blood vessels. By pairing it with vitamin D, which supports calcium absorption, Linda's body was finally able to use calcium correctly. Her bones became stronger, and the pressure on her arteries eased. Linda now adds vitamin K2 to her daily routine along with her vitamin D, and she feels more confident in her steps. I wish I'd known about K2 sooner, she says. It's made all the difference in my health. If you're already taking calcium or vitamin D supplements, don't forget to add K2 to the mix. It can make all the difference in how your body uses those essential nutrients, keeping your bones and blood vessels healthier. Have you heard of vitamin K2 before? Do you already take it? Drop a quick comment below with K2 if you're adding it to your routine, or yes, if you've had positive results from it. Let's help each other stay strong and healthy. These stories are not about miracles. They are the result of small but wise decisions made every single day. You don't need to make big changes overnight. It can start with a single vitamin, a morning walk, or a glass of calcium-rich milk. Have you or a loved one improved your health with small changes? Share your story in the comments below. And don't forget to hit the follow button on Senior Health Secrets. By following our channel, you'll discover more simple and powerful tips for living a healthy, happy life well into your 70s, 80s, and even 90s. Let's continue this journey together.